What's up, Flockers? We're back with another episode of Flockast. This is episode number 53, and we're joined, as always, with Mr. Colin Long. What's up, Colin?
What's up, Jake? We're here for what I'm calling tonight as a little Flockast After Dark. This is the latest we've ever recorded an episode. I don't think we've ever recorded this late at night before.
No.
So I wanted to make it a special occasion.
Yeah, I feel you. I don't have the lights, but as you can see out my windows, it is nighttime. And
it is definitely dark.
It is definitely dark. And tonight we have another special guest, of course, from
another one, of course.
Mr. Garrett Waveman Wilson.
We'll call this like his first and a half time, I guess. Like it's his first official time on the show, but he was already like kind of on, right? At Dome Fest he was there when we did our Dome Fest episode, right?
Yeah, that little daytime in front of the booth round table that we had with some newer flock members, but Garrett's going to be at Harrisburg this weekend, and we go over the new album drop and tour dates like we always do.
Yeah, look, the new album has been super cool. I've been giving it all day long. I've been basically kind of wearing out the YouTube tracks of it, and yeah, I mean, I know I say it on the episode here, but I'm super proud of the guys and what they've done. I think this is their best album they put out yet. I'm not saying that because they haven't put out good albums. I'm just saying that because literally I think it's some of the best work they've done. I've really kind of, we both enjoyed watching these kind of songs develop. As we talk about, we've been there for so many of the debuts, right? We've watched these songs from kind of conception to now all of a sudden seeing them on the album. So kind of watching that evolution of this music has been really cool to watch. And then seeing how these guys kind of cemented on the studio tracks has been just, really fun. Glad to see it.
I'm right there with you, Colin. I love these boys. I love their music. I love you. And I hope you guys enjoy the episode.
Love you too, Jake. Let's get to it.
What's up, Flockers? We're back with another episode of Flockcast. This is episode 53, and today we got a special guest with us, Mr. Garrett Waveman Wilson with us.
Waveman, what's up?
What's up? I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me talk about pigeons with you guys.
And it's a special episode, as you can see behind me. It's Pigeons After Dark, as we're calling this. Jake, this might be the latest we've ever recorded.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Because, I just put Boulder to sleep. We went to see Garcia Project earlier tonight. And
nice. How was that?
It was pretty good. Playing some classic tunes. And Boulder was able to dance and see mommy working behind the bar a little bit.
Very nice. Last night I was in Miami and I went and saw Bad Religion and Social Distortion.
Man.
And it was a little bit something different. But like, it takes me back, it's funny. I was telling Shannon that the first counterculture that I think I really associated with as a young man, 12, 13, was like the punk scene, right? It was like, they were just, against establishment, fuck the man, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'm digging this vibe. And I think over time it graduated to kind of where I am today. But it was kind of cool, getting back to some old punk vibes there. It was a good time.
What about you, Garrett? What you been up to? You seen any shows lately?
I have been working my life away. The last show that I hit was with a bunch of flockers. I went up to Pittsburgh and I introduced Jack to Papadosio. And then we went and saw the Disco Biscuits all as a group for the first time. And that was something to behold. It was a great time.
Nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good weekend, but that was the last music that I saw. It was about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. It was a lot of fun.
Look, I really have to say with the Biscuits, they are really in their prime right now. And they've been doing this for years. I mean, 20 plus years, I guess. I first saw them in 2003. That tells you how long ago they've been doing this. And they are definitely and no doubt playing the best they've ever played. So if you ever want to get on board the Biscuits, this is the best time. If there's ever time to get on board.
I can agree. I can see a lot of Flock fam getting down with the Biscuits. I had a blast. It was a great time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Who else is putting out a space opera, space rock opera, whatever? I mean, whatever. We need more of that kind of stuff in our lives, regardless. So
Different.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what we're all here for. Uh, on this episode, we are going to be talking about the new album that was released,
Ah, we got there.
So finally,
Pigeons are back this weekend playing shows after a
It
short hiatus.
it's been 84 years, Jake. I feel like it's been almost like a hiatus. It's the longest gap they've had, right, since COVID. They haven't played. But I'm so excited about the new album. When I was messaging you yesterday and today and this afternoon, and I was like, we got to talk about this, man. I'm so excited about it. I thought, what would be really fun to do tonight is let's talk about Day and Time. And, look, I think it's a heavy hitting album from start to finish. A lot of these songs as I was going through today is putting some of these numbers together and some of the stuff I was kind of reviewing for this show is I was there for a lot of these debuts. It was cool. It was really kind of fun to relive some of this stuff because, in the time I was really hitting a lot of shows, a lot of this stuff was being first played for the first times. And I was watching these guys work this out. So now to see how they've taken all the work they did, played on stage 20, 30 times, and then just cemented that into a really, really well-made album. It's super cool. It was fun today, kind of just going through this whole process to just review this.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because I was at most of these debuts too and heard most of these songs live a whole bunch of times, which isn't a bad thing. But to say that this is all new music to my ears, it would be probably a little bit of a lie. But I'd say it's new just because it's all recorded on studio, so it has a little bit of a different feel, obviously. But
Well,
it's
look, at the end of the day, we all know live Pigeons is the best Pigeons. I don't think there's any question if that's a fact or not. But I think it's how they lay down these tracks is always kind of cool. That's how they cement the version of the song that they want to be. That'll be what's played on most streaming platforms. Like that's how this music gets out. And I really think that this song has the most potential of any album they put out. What do you think, Willie?
I can absolutely agree. This album means a lot to me. I didn't even know that Pigeons played ping pong until 2021. My first show was Halloween on Greg's birthday that year, and I did a show 2 weeks later at the Mission Ballroom in Denver. I saw the debut Let the Boogie Out. That was the first debut I saw, and I got to catch a couple of the debuts from this record, and I got to watch a couple of these songs just grow into what they are, and it's nice watching something evolve over time and watching it take shape into a studio version. And it's cool. It's just really neat, and they did a great job of making everything sound polished and mature and still Pigeons at heart. It's good. They did a great job.
Yeah, like when you listen to like the debut versions, right? And a lot of times they work the song out. So, how it started and how it finished are not the same thing. They're in there, they're hearing it, they're listening. All right, I'm sure they're critiquing it, and seeing how they kind of just came up and like, all right, like we're in the studio, we can play it exactly how we want to. Let's play it, run it back, play it again, run it back, play it again, change this, and they can make it exactly how they want. It's always interesting in my perspective. Like Fish putting out their album they have coming out soon, Evolve. Look, it's the same thing with that. With them, the studio album is a studio album, but it's just interesting to see like if they can make it exactly the way they want it to sound. Like, well, this is how their choice is. So it's always fun to see that perspective because we're usually on a more receiving end at the shows, right?
Right.
And how we see it the first times or the 10th time.
yeah, well, some of these songs, their live versions are they they have versions that are like that studio version, like they had played it like a shorter version. Like I keep talking about uh, my own way recently, but the one in Nashville, which is like a tight version, not jammed or anything like that, which sounds very similar to the recorded studio version, which goes to show like how much they've been putting into the new music for it to sound as good live as it does on an album. But like you just said a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, there's nothing that beats live Pigeons. Garrett
But
and
but
yeah,
I think the importance of an album is changed over time, and I think like these days, like a lot of people at this point, I think are going to discover Pigeons on like a Spotify playlist that maybe they didn't pick Pigeons for, but because you like this band and you like this band comes in, right? So like, yeah, this might not be what you end up loving. With oh, this isn't the Horizon they played on your birthday live, right? Like this is the Let the Boogie Out you heard for the first time that just ended up on your workday playlist.
Right.
I think how it's going to recruit new people into the band. I was just this is just a very abstract thing, but I was just talking to someone about with what Fishes did at the Sphere recently. It brought jam bands into the global perspective, right? Like let's
Yep.
take whatever. We don't need to go into the whole thing. It was a very okay outing, like I just say
right.
like it was okay. It was pretty good. But all of a sudden, like this band is on this global perspective, right? But by Fish being on this global perspective now, and there's talked about. People texted me that have known me for years. Oh, Fish, and I'm just like, it's weird who texted me. I haven't heard from in years. But like this jam band now just became internationally famous. I think that like is a rising tides that rises all ships, because if people are discovering this band, Pigeons are 2 steps away of discovery now. If all of a sudden this attention is coming to our scene, so I
Exactly.
think it's an interesting time as I watch the jam scene kind of evolve. Like some things go catastrophic and stratospheric or spheric in general. I think it really helps to bring all these bands up, right? Because if people are searching for Fish on Spotify, what's the odds that somehow if they like Andy Frasco too, perhaps Pigeons become in that just boom. Now all of a sudden they're discovering this new music. And that's why I think like the quality of the studio album and the importance of it right now is because people will discover this through this album, I think in a way it never will have happened before.
Right.
Yeah, you just had Bert Kreischer talking about how much he loved Andy Frasco the other day.
Listen,
So
Bert Kirshner doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, all right? But it's funny. He's like, honestly, him and his Goose thing, I've laughed at pretty hard because,
yeah,
of
good old
course, he would love Goose. Of
Bert.
all bands he could pick, Bert Kristner.
But yeah, let's go ahead and go
All
through
right.
these tracks real quick.
So the reason we're all here today, and what I was most excited to talk about, is Day and Time. As this album now has been out for a couple of days, I had a chance to listen through it, and it's been exciting. Look, a lot of these songs I've obsessed about for a while already. So there's a couple of them that were unreleased on the album that I got extra excited for. But I figure if we're gonna go through the track list, let's talk about each song and times played, where it was debuted, bust out versions, whatever. But I guess if we're gonna start this, we're gonna start with talking about the town.
Take it across the town.
The
That's
town.
The town.
Town. Yeah, look, first song on the track. They played 29 times. First played at the UC Theater in Berkeley on 3/1/22. It's of all the debuts, it's actually kind of one of the newer songs that is on the album, but it was a song that took me a minute to get into. I will say, like the first couple times I saw it, I just wasn't talking about the town. And I was trying to like think back to that. I couldn't remember what the show it was, but I remember when it clicked, and I was like, "All right, we're talking about the town."
My buddy Tyler loves that song, and he won't let me live it down. And somehow, through him playing it for me a billion times, I also love that song. So
Yeah,
I
you can't stop because there ain't no sign.
nope,
You
never
know,
stopping.
right?
it's a good
All that
song.
time.
I
Jake,
like
that's
it.
your good song.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think the first time I saw it was at the Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville.
Nice.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a
it was
good
a
one.
long before that show too.
Yeah,
But
it's a good runner. But next down the track list was the one that I think I by far obsessed the most over. It goes all back to Dome Fest. It wasn't the first time I saw it, but I just remember I was under Jeremy, and like Greg was just like right there. Like I was a lot of times I'm on Ben's side, sometimes I rotate, but All Right Tonight at Dome Fest, it was like the song just hit me, bam, so hard. 21 times played, so they've definitely taken it through its runs. It was first played at the Baltimore Soundstage show, which was scheduled from
Union Craft.
Thank you, Union Craft Brewery. And but my favorite part of that night would still be the Dr. Schoen sit-in for Wild Wild Life.
That was
Like,
terrific.
it was the best.
My fiance went to the bathroom right before that happened, and she came back from the bathroom right after it ended, and she said, "What just happened?" And we debriefed after the show. She saw the videos, but she didn't get to experience that, and that was terrific.
Dang.
That was such an incredible show. I remember I saw first of all, shout out Scott over at Fan Designs, because he posted a post today about the original Merch Madness that happened at Dome Fest 2022. Shout out, I wore his hat today. Be kind. Just want to say thank you. But he sent a picture to me in the morning, and it was me with my shirt off at the show. And he goes, "Hey," and I saw this photo, and I'm like, "I don't remember this photo taken. Oops." And I knew, like, maybe I had a little too much fun last night.
Did you have your glasses on?
No, lost my glasses that night, 100%. I think the shirt was gone, the hat was gone, glasses gone. If I wasn't for Shannon, Luke, and Laura, I'd probably still be gone. That was a good time. But I don't even really remember the first All Right Tonight, and that's why I think like the final come around of it for being at Dome Fest is when that song just like hit me the hardest and brought me all the way around. I think that's one of like the strongest songs in the album as far as just like
Yeah.
The lyrics are super matured.
Yep.
What was that, Garrett?
I said the lyrics are super matured, and it's a different style to an extent, and I love it.
Yeah, a lot of their lyrics are a little bit deeper, but I was gonna say one of my favorite performances of that song was that Jam Packed. Greg
That's
really,
how I walked into that show going, I hope they play one mother effing song tonight. And that was like all I wanted there. So as soon as they broke into it, I was like, yes.
yeah, it was solid. Greg really crushed it. The vocals on that, he had lots of energy. For that one.
Which
That
was
should be a bingo square if Greg says energy.
it was like 100 and I think that the final temperature was like 97 or 98 that day. It was super hot, which makes it that much more impressive that Greg had that much energy to go and belt that like that. It was a great version.
Yeah,
it was the highlight of that show for me.
Yeah, I was chasing it, no doubt about it. But, going down the track list sled again, the next song is, and this is a song, again, as I joke about, I've obsessed about in this show plenty of times, is Day and Time. Because it was where I fully cemented that song as the world's greatest single encore you could possibly have. And then all of a sudden they played it as a set opener, they played it as a set closer, and then I quickly realized maybe this song is just really good and you could put it anywhere. But I still stand by my if you're going to put a single song encore with the Pigeons, Piece de Resistance really is a Day and Time closer. But what do you guys think?
One of my favorites was an encore, and it was at the Agora Theater. And I just remember me and Simon like looking at each other across the freaking the venue, just like another day in time. It was fantastic.
No, I remember that I saw the 3 of the first 4 Day and Times, and there's a certain time where you feel like pretty good about a song. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen the first 3 or 4. But it was just like I love that song so much, so I was just like, oh nice. It was cool that I caught the first of them. But yeah, it's a song that's great in any position. I really think it's a great set closer and encore. They mixed it up a lot. It was interesting when I was going through some of these songs. I didn't take as many notes probably as I should have thinking about it now, but there's been times where like songs have started out like in early position songs, and then they started moving them to second set. Uh, but Day and Time, they've kind of really just kept a good mix on that, and I think that's for this song, it has that dynamic ability to really be put anywhere.
This might is it the oldest song?
Day and
Of the
first
song.
played Podfest 2021. Peach Fest was
I'm just thinking
after.
maybe Sorcerer before that.
First Sorcerer was in 2021 at River Park in South Carolina.
Do you know the date?
I see. See, this is Jake. This is where my research is only half-assed. I would take
Yeah.
so many notes, and then I leave certain key details out.
I took a few notes today. The first time
If you saw my notes I have here, I have the state, the city, the time in the afternoon, but I just don't have the date. Who'd have thought?
Dang. I feel like Sorcerer might was there 2 debuts at Podfest?
Yes, there was 2 debuts at Podfest because the other one was it's on this list. Shite. That's Doom Fest 2022. Yeah, no, that was the only.
Dang.
Sorcerer, funny enough. We'll talk about that one real quick, just we'll get out of the way. But that's the least played live of any song on this album, with only 16 times they played this so far. And I have to say, Sorcerer to me, it's one at this point one of my favorite songs on the album. I see it as like this 80s like Roadhouse type movie theme song.
intro
Like
music.
yeah, like
Yes,
the
sir.
guys are like walking into like the smoky bar, like and the bad guys are there, but he's like sort them out.
Sorcerer.
Right, but he has like magic, and he does it with like his sorcerer magic, right? Like I
Man.
don't know.
Yeah,
That's how I
your AI, was that an AI creation that you did, the Sorcerer Pigeon?
Yes, I did not hand draw that. I'm sorry. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am also not an artist.
That was dope. That was pretty cool.
No, look, Gemini is this anyway. It was funny how easy that was to make. It just like happened fast, and I was like, all right, cool. I put no time into it. I was like, perfect pigeon sorcerer I was looking for. But moving right along after Day and Time is, I think, maybe one of the larger songs on the album is My Own Way. Played 26 times. Also debuted at the Capitol Theater in 21. So kind of like that post-COVID wave of new songs right there. But I think like of all the songs, I think I was looking even on YouTube, it's got some of the most plays, but it's definitely, I think, one of the heavy hitters on the album. And it's also one of the slower songs, which is typically, Pigeons as being a more upbeat, high energy band. That cerebral flow is definitely, I think, well received from the fans. What do you guys think?
It is. I also think that as the band's growing, a lot of the fans are also growing up. I was talking to Colin before we started this, and I'm trying to get my life together. And I know a bunch of other flockers that are just trying to put their head down and get to work, but still enjoy things. And I think that it's like a nice reminder listening to stuff like that, and just remembering that we're all human, and it just kind of it brings you back down to earth.
Yeah, look, I think if there's one thing that stands in my own way the most, it's definitely myself. So I just find the lyrics a little extra. Like I feel a little attacked, but also like I agree with what you guys are saying. Like, all right,
It's
fair.
it's like saying it's like your friend telling you what you don't want to hear. You know what I mean? But you need to hear it deep down in your soul.
Yeah, no, look, we can all give the advice that we're probably giving ourselves at the same time, always. But yeah, no, I think the lyrics of that song are great. Yeah, it's among my favorite songs on the album, no doubt about it. Uh, Stoked every time I've seen him play it. I'd like to see if they could see what they could do with the song. I think it's a pretty straightforward song from start to finish, but it definitely has some potential for some jams, I
It
think.
it could grow some legs.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it has that. But speaking of a song with some legs, right after that is a little Fall in Place.
Yeah, yeah, this is probably my least favorite of uh, all the songs on the album. It kind of has that like Julia type feel
You
to
throwing
it.
shade at Julia? Wait a second, back up. Do I hear some Julia shade here, Jake? What was that?
No, I'm never throwing shade on anything. I'm just saying that like it's one of those ones that I'm gonna go do something if I need to do something at a show, like get a drink, go to the
Go to the
bathroom.
bathroom. Okay.
I
Yeah, just
I'm gonna go opposite end of the spectrum. I think it's my favorite song on the record. The bridge part, it gets me every time. I think I weep every single time I hear that song. The "You Are a Warrior, saving something way worth fighting for, and all the glory of change is underway." The beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, Greg, absolutely gorgeous, and the point in my life that I'm at, it resonates with me, and I love it.
yeah,
All right.
and well, and how it's goes right in after my own way. You know,
Right. It makes you think, and it's great. I love it.
building that
So
tension and release.
Yes.
I'll I'll split the difference and say I'm just kind of mixed on it. I like this song, but it's not hitting me extra heavy. I remember when I saw it in Ardmore, I definitely think that's my favorite time I've seen it. Shout out the Ardmore shows. I think Rudman made a post about it the other day, and I was like, those Ardmore shows might have been about as close to a perfect Pigeon shows that you can have. First indoor shows back from COVID. Mwah. Side note. Uh, but moving on from Fallen Place, arguably maybe my favorite entire song on the album. I was there for the debut at Peach Fest, and few things funk harder than a solid Skinner, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, I remember your excitement from this song when it debuted. You even made like that Skinner sticker, which I
Where is
absolutely,
it? Hold on, I have it right here. Shit, where'd it go?
yeah, absolutely love that sticker.
Boom! I went and found one. There's my Skinner sticker I made. How damn excited! He's even holding a peach in his hand. I don't know if you can see it or not.
That's awesome.
I was that
Yeah,
excited about it. I'm like, I got to make. And a company wouldn't print the first sticker I made because they're like, oh, it's stealing the likeness of Skinner. And I'm like,
yeah.
really, I'm ordering 50 stickers to give away at a show,
Well,
but whatever.
I'm
Fine.
thinking about getting it tattooed next to Lenny right here.
Ah, you
That would be
absolutely do
great.
Yeah,
that. That would be the best.
yeah. Another Pigeons
Do it.
type tattoo.
Do it.
But funny story about Skinner when the album dropped. I get off work at midnight, so I was like putting in my headphones, walking out to my car, put on Spotify day and time, and like it goes day and time my own way. I already heard those songs, so I was wanting to hear a new song, and it goes to Skinner, and I'm like, oh, accidentally press skip, and I run out of
Oh, how
skips.
dare
And I was
you?
just like, "Whoa." So I didn't even listen to it debut. I go home and wait until I can get on the computer and listen to it on YouTube. So like I didn't even listen to the new music as soon as it came out. But yeah, Skinner's the only instrumental on the album, and it's a good one. It's a
Yeah. It's
fan favorite so far.
I feel like Skinner was like the precursor to Miyagi. I feel like there's like those songs feel like so similar in a sense where like I feel like a similar like creative energy created one versus created the other. Uh,
I can get
super.
behind that.
Yeah, I mean I don't know, right? But it was cool. Chuck Dinosaur was also on that with them, as as some of the other people who collaborated on this album, which was really cool. Uh, oh, and also I wanted to call out a version, the Skinner from Late Night Dome Fest 2022. I think was a monster heater version. If anybody wants to check that out,
Good stuff. A fun fact about that song, real quick. Ben commented under one of my Facebook posts, and he said that during the rain delay at Peach is when they named the song Skinner, and they weren't planning. Jack told me the other day that the first chords of Skinner are a B chord and an F chord, kind of like as a
I didn't
homage
know
to
that either.
B.F. Skinner. So Ben said that they just tested out the B and the F chords, and that's why they named the song Skinner, and it just kind of evolved from there. So a little fun fact for anybody who didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that and I love that. And I love the intro too because it has just like a very specific like if you know like just once you get past that 10-second piece what's coming, it's just like that's the hype. The hype up minute. You're like, fuck yeah, this is what's coming.
Yep, it's beautiful.
Yeah. But then as we move down the track list, we bring it down a little bit lower and get a little bit beneath the surface. Played 26 times, first debuted at Domefest 2022. Uh, it really was originally like a first set song for a while. I think the first like half dozen times it was played, but it really became like a second set staple. But Beneath the Surface, I think, is such a monster song. I really remember like Peach Fest when the rain came and they played the Poseidon going into Beneath the Surface and then they called it off. I remember I said this before, but I turned to Shannon and got done with that song before they stopped, and I was like, I gotta sit down. Like my knees were weak. Like I legitimately like I was like just like I was feeling it so hard I had to sit down. Like this was wild.
That's how you
Dang.
know it's good.
Yeah. No.
You're feeling it in your bones, baby.
Yeah.
My favorite version of that song is from Domefest of this past year, 22, when they had AC from Talk sit in on it. Oh my lord. The keys, that weird, oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And that just elevated my day so much whenever he sat in. And it's terrific if you haven't heard that version.
Well,
I know you
uh,
will.
I have heard that version, and it's hard for me to pick my favorite version of this song because I've actually seen this one. I was just counting 13 times.
Wow.
But I would say it would probably be the Jam live show with Jack down in St. Petersburg in 2022 when we flew down there. Uh, but yeah, this is my favorite song on the album. You were talking about weeping earlier. This one, I was driving into work the other day, and Jeremy's solo. I'm just like, I got the pigeon pimples on me driving into work. Why is it doing this to me? Why is it doing it to me?
Stop it, Jeremy.
Yeah, stop
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a solid song from start to back. I think it has a great transitionary point in any set list. You know, like if you have like a big high energy song, you can just like go into it beneath the surface and have like a heavy song as kind of like your down, but not even your down moment. I think they can use it as a cooler song, but it's still a hype song at the end of the day.
Right.
It's not like a little Dawn and New Day, and we're just kind of moving along. Uh, but you know, one of the songs I was most excited about is the next one on the album is "Dun Dun Let the Boogie Out." Dun, 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 dun. And actually, they played this song only 19 times. It's one of the songs, not the fewest times they played. But for me, I just think back in Asheville. And for me, like in Asheville is when they had like my favorite version during their New Year's Eve run. I think that was just for me personally, like my favorite "Let the Boogie Out." But a great vibe song, and I was actually surprised they only played it 19 times when I was kind of going through like the variations. I thought they would played that more, but yeah. What do
I
you guys
love
think?
I love
Go
how
ahead.
crazy Pigeons can get with that song. They played Poseidon Let the Boogie Out at Domefest last year, and that was, I don't think, something anybody was expecting, but it ended up working, and it was fun. I think it's a
Oh,
great song. I love Pigeons with Horns. I'll take
yeah,
it any day
Rubman.
of the week.
What do you say, Jake?
I said Rubman loved that when they did that.
Yeah, look, if it's crazy and it works, it's not crazy. I always say that's kind of name of the game. But yeah, Let the Boogie Out's a good one. Going down again from there, Overtime. I think this is the fewest song, fewest times played. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Before it starts, that's the fewest. First time played was the night I first kissed Shannon, which was kind of cool. We
Aw.
hooked up. We hooked up at a Pigeon show, so like Brooklyn Steel was always like a call out night for me. So yeah, right, got that overtime. But it was cool because that was supposed to be at Terminal 5, and I got a hotel that was right by Terminal 5. And then they moved to Brooklyn Steel, which was very far from my hotel. And I was like, son of a bitch. But it all worked out. But yeah, Overtime is a song that I've really gotten to dig. Me and Jake, many times when we're trying to put the Flockast together, we joke around our overtime lives because we're just trying to find time to do sometimes this stuff. But my favorite one, I think, was when Tomo sat in. It was probably my favorite overtime I've seen so far. And that's kind of honestly, of all the Tomo sit-ins, is maybe my favorite one.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I think that it's a great song for sit-ins, and I wonder how many of them have actual sit-ins in it. But Tomo seems like he's been the one that's done it the most. But this is one of the older songs that they've played. They first played it April 9th at Brooklyn Steel.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, and that was like their perspective album release party.
Skinner was about before that in 2021.
Oh, okay, you're right.
And My Own Way was the Cap 21.
I'm totally off. I was
Shake,
not
you
even
don't
reading
even
it.
know what you're talking about, my
I know.
man. No,
I just assumed it was 21. My apologies.
no.
That's why you're here. That's why you're
Yeah,
here. No, you're here for more than that.
good. I'm glad. We all serve our purpose, but yeah, no. The overtimes have been again. It's like a slower Pigeons jam. But I've been digging some of their more just kind of like vibe out songs.
It's almost like a jazz track, just straight up jazz. It's terrific. The little solo that Jeremy goes into is just like the best elevator music you've ever heard.
Yeah. That I would love to get into an
Don't
elevator.
call Pigeons elevator.
Listen, okay, it's not the jazzy. I don't know. It's just like Local on the Eights. Local on the Eights was fire, Jake. Local on the Eights was fire. Jazz is sick. He's crushing that. That was in no way a slight.
No, it is dope for sure. But we already
Right
talked about Sorcerer.
But yeah, just to go back on Sorcerer real quick, this song's a banger.
Yes,
I
sir.
really do. But there's something about it that's the lyrically the lyrics are such a separate. Put this. It's not the same as their typical types of lyrics. It's more of like a fantasy land of lyrics, right? They're talking about something a little bit more like, fantasy, I guess. But I dig it. I really see I love where they went with it. It's the beat, yeah. And Greg's, I think his vocals on are such killer vocals. I mean, like right now, it's my favorite song on the album. As I've gone down the list, I'm like, I've gone through the motion. I love this song. I've loved this song. I'm obsessed over this. I've listened to this song 1,000 times. Wore this one out. Right now, I'm all about that Sorcerer. So anyway, just want to make sure I give it its moment, right?
Greg does some fantastic vocals on that song.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I will say Greg's vocals across the board are dynamite.
On fire.
Look, they definitely worked hard in the studio, and that's why it's cool to see like how high quality this is coming out, and then to really come in the rear, feeling fine, with the most played of all the songs, first played back in 2020. So I think this is also the oldest debut they have on the entire album. Sorry, Jake, not to just put that back in your face again, but I'm just saying it's a COVID banger. And I wanted to just also call out my favorite version of this. I think was in the Neptune Theater in Seattle when Greg brought out Evil Greg for the night. And I think that was like they were summoning some jellyfish, I believe, was it?
That's it. They were gonna kick him in the face.
That's right. That's right.
That's it. That's one of the shows that when I was first really diving into Pigeons and I got Nugs, I listened to that and it was game over. I had to listen to every show from then on out. I couldn't miss anything.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, no, feeling fine is a song that I like. Really just I slow played. I liked the song, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't until like having some life experiences, and all of a sudden that song just kind of coming on, and like, you know what? All right, I'll be okay. It's definitely like you're gonna be okay song. When it hits you, it hits you. But this is why I love these guys and their good vibes, because some of the songs, they don't always kind of hit you the way they need to hit you until the moment's right, and then they grab you and they do you good.
I think that the placement of that song on the album is perfect too, because like we've been talking about the mature lyrics and how they just are kind of like evolving and telling you stuff for putting these seeds in your head to make you think a little bit more. At the end of the day, we're all still feeling fine, baby. So it's nice to like loop back around to that. At the end of the day, everything's we're all in this together, and we're all gonna
Yeah,
be
I
feeling
wish I
fine.
could be away this time.
Yeah.
Feeling fine. Yeah. But I will say, I'm super proud of the guys. Just seeing how this album came together, going through listening to each song, I see how much effort they put into it, this year, because they didn't do Dome Fest. And I will say, actually, just a separate shout out and call out, because you're seeing all these festivals that canceled like week before show. Like there's been a couple of them, right? Was it Sacred Rose, whatever that one in California was?
Yeah.
There's been a couple that canceled. Some were saying no refunds, but I mean, could you imagine how much worse it would be if Pigeons canceled Dome Fest the week before the festival? Like, I'm glad they had the foresight, being like, look, we have whatever going on. Look, we're just gonna push it off. Yeah, people are not gonna love it, but let's just, it won't be as good as we want it to be. It's not what we intend. We'll bring it back when we can do it right, versus force it and then somehow, can you imagine being rug pulled on a Dome Fest? How devastated people would be. How that would be that'd be the worst. Way happier they canceled this stuff ahead of time and just left that off the table.
Still very sad there's no Dome Fest, but I'm glad they're doing it the right way, and they gave us all notice, and they're trying to wait until they can provide us the experience that they want to provide us. They're not going to take any half measures, and that's another reason why we love this band.
Yeah, but people tried to force it and failed, and it really sucks for people who planned and spent the money. Like, imagine if you spent flights, you booked hotel, you book, and all of a sudden nothing. Whew. So, it made me feel just a little more grateful. Why, I'm
100%.
happier that Fest went the way it did, and that they didn't try to force it into something that ended up being a disaster later. So, kudos to those guys for making the hard decisions early.
Right. I'm with you.
But look, that's Day and Time. Super excited about the album. I think now leading into this weekend, what are you guys feeling about what's coming up in the old Harrisburg area?
Wave Man Wilson put together a Flock fam. You and Alex put it together, a bingo card.
Yeah. Alex drew up. I found a blank bingo board on the internet, and she drew up a little Flock family bingo template for me, and we're kind of running a little giveaway. I see other fan bases doing setlist bingo, so why not us? We might as well have a little bit of fun. I know there are a lot of people who really care, and we might as well. So there are a couple people donating some stuff. We have a little prize package to give away for the first person to get some bingos. And
look, since I'm not, if I'm not there, I can't be part of the official game. I'm in the secondary game, as I feel less than. But
hey, stop that.
I'll make a donation into the secondary group's prize pool. So whoever's playing from home, I'll make sure there's some extra pins in a prize pool for us who aren't there to play in person, but we still want to play and have something for us. But you guys who are there do not qualify.
Listen, I will say, if somebody gets a bingo on the internet, I also have something for you. So we'll make it
Good.
happen. We'll hook you
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I'm giving you a hard time. I'm excited. I'm glad you put that together, and look, I'll be happy to play from home. Maybe I'll be there, but I'll be playing from home, so we'll see.
Yeah, I did it in like 5 minutes, so 10 minutes max. I'll make you do it, and I just filled it in on my phone, just posted it up and stuff. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a mix of mostly all new album stuff, probably a mix of some older stuff, maybe a bust out or two, and then probably a debut. They did that last time. We were just
Look, I feel like there's a look. I would be surprised if there wasn't at least one debut. As much time as they've had off, I feel like they've been busy. Yeah, it just seems ripe with new music. This is my speculation. If I'm going to wildly speculate, what's your wild speculation there, Jake? What do you think?
wild speculation.
Wild
Uh,
speculation.
well, they're playing on May 4th,
Do, do, do,
so
do, do,
maybe
do,
some type of
do,
Star Wars theme.
do,
Uh,
do, 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 do,
I don't
do.
think I don't think Cantina theme. I'm thinking more Imperial March probably,
Oh,
but
a little
that's not
darker.
really that's not really a wild speculation since it's May 4th. I guess
It's
a wild,
speculation. It's a mild speculation.
yeah, but other than that, I don't really have too much. I'm just excited to go this weekend. What about you, Garrett?
It'll be my first show of the year. I'm real excited for that. I want to hear some stuff I've never heard, whether it be a bust out or some live new music. But I'll be cool with whatever they play for me. I'm ready.
What's a bust out for you? You'd like to hear?
Listen, I have went back and I've listened to Candy and Dutch Master, and I have to hear one. I don't know if they're shelved eternally or what's up, but one time, give it to me once, and then you can shelve it forever. But I got to hear it once.
See, I'm calling a girls just want to have fun.
I'm cool with that. We'll go for that. You should have put that on your board, Jake. See, and that's why it's gonna
Always
happen.
on his board.
Whatever. They'll play it. No, they'll play it. I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. They'll play it when they know that I'm not gonna be at the show.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for
If
sure.
Jake's not here, fuck it.
It's like
It's funny, we have to sending you to a show with a wig on. Like we'll get you like a glasses and a mustache.
Yeah, I'll definitely not stay.
It'll be a long. No, we'll get you a long blonde-haired wig, so you look like the girls that want to have fun. They'll see you and be like, "Look at this cute girl in the front. You know what she wants to hear?"
Cute girl in the front there and be like, look at this freak in the front.
she just wants to have fun.
Oh, she looks like a good time girl.
All right, let's not go down this avenue.
All right.
But yeah,
But
let's go
besides,
toward
what do we got coming up?
tour dates. Obviously, we were just talking about it. May 3rd, this Friday, at XL Live in Harrisburg with Kendall Street Company. And then the next night, May 4th, with the Dome Fest All Stars. And before that show, I'm planning on showing up early in the parking lot, setting up my pop up tent, and hanging out. Anyone's welcome to come
Oh,
early.
the man
I'm gonna,
himself.
I'm gonna bring some waters and some Uncrustables. So
Oh,
anyone who wants to bring something, come hang out. I'll have my little speaker with me, so we'll be playing some tunes too, obviously.
I'm
But
not sure what time I'm going to arrive, but I'll be there as well. Alex and I are putting together some little gift bags for whoever comes to the shakedown and whoever is at the show that evening.
but do you have Uncrustables?
I don't know. Jake's providing those for me. I heard he got 2 packs.
2 packs. All right, now I really gotta get 2 packs. I pedal hard for a week.
No, I'll
But
hook
Two
you
two
up,
for
bro.
10, no deals. No deals.
no deal. But then that's it to start off May, and then they're off for a little bit until they debut their little run with Andy Frasco and Dogs in the Pile at Asbury Park in New Jersey on May 24th, and then 25th head north to Westport, Connecticut. The 26th, they're at Sanark Brewing Company in Utica, New York. May 31st, Rochester, New York. and then they head to good old Columbus at Kemba Live in
And
Columbus.
you have a meetup. Am I not mistaken?
Yes, we're having a meetup for that one too. This one is going to be at Moran's Bar and Grill. It's a 5 minute walk just down the street from the venue. They have full kitchen, plenty of drink options. So if you're looking for a spot to eat and chill, come by there. We're gonna have a live painter who's giving away painting. We're gonna have a couple jewelry vendors. I'm gonna be setting up my tie dye vending there. Jack Rife is thinking about coming.
Oh,
Nice.
there we go.
Hopefully we're going to have a good turnout. You're going to do another giveaway again. Hopefully get Pigeons involved again with that on a signed poster, and we'll do it for a charity again. So hopefully going to get with them on that soon and get that going. But we're all set as far as as the venue goes. Well, the restaurant goes. So we're good on the meet up there. And again, that's on a Saturday in June,
Ooh.
1st in Columbus. And then the 2nd, they head down to Newport, Kentucky at Mega Court Pavilion. And again, this whole little run that they're doing with Frasco, they're doing at outdoor venues or venues that have outdoor options. I'm pretty sure they're all outdoors, rain or shine, according to their tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
Brasco's playing down here in Miami on the 4th this weekend. So if I'm not up in XL Live, I'll be harassing Frasco down here in the Miami Beach Band Show. See if I can bully him into an episode.
Let's get it.
I'm messaging him. He's not responding. Somebody please tell him to call back.
If somebody has a connection with Frasco, tell him to call Colin.
Yeah. Hey, anybody? Be like, hey, tell him to answer my many, many, many dick pics I've sent him.
all right. Then,
Tasteful.
On a side note, though, for most of those shows that the Pigeons Frasco Dogs tour, buy tickets to the Magic Beans after shows. I ride so hard for the Magic Beans. I will tell you, a lot of those shows are going to sell out. They're in small venues, so buy your tickets now.
No, look, I've said this before. The best after party I've ever been to was at Cervantes in Denver for a fish after party. And Jeremy was a full-time sit-in the entire set for a Super Bean set. It was the baddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Was Nick Gerlach on that set too? Is that the one?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an incredible. It was loud as shit in there, and I listen to it all the time. I went from being like a casually like I like the Beans to being like holy shit, I really freaking like the Beans. That set really sold me. Yeah. So yeah, when I hear late night Beans, it's sexy times.
That's the element, especially on the East Coast. That's their prime hours.
Sexy. Hey.
They're nice.
Very nice.
But yeah, they take a few days off the Frasco Dogs tour to do a couple of dates in the Midwest in Kansas City, and then the Bonfire Music Festival in Wisconsin, and then Del Mar Hall in St. Louis, and then they head back down south from Wisconsin to Kalamazoo, Michigan at Bell's Brewery, and then they're going to be hitting the festival circuit there for a second at Northlands Music Festival, June 14th, and then I guess you say Jeezum Crow Festival. I don't really know. It's July 19th, and that's in Vermont. And then,
sounds sexual.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on. Jeezum.
It sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Hey, look.
But then you got Gamblers Run Music Festival in Crystal Bay, Nevada, July 26th. And then they go east where they hit Athens, Georgia on the 22nd of August, and then head underground for 2 nights, August 23rd and 24th.
I'm trying not to miss the cave again. It's
You got
yeah.
2 nights. You got 2 nights to make it. So
Yeah, JT will not leave me alone. So I feel like I'm being peer pressured in the worst way. So I'm definitely trying to make that happen. I'm excited about that one. I really
We
want to go back.
we
Or no,
have a
go
lot of
back,
fun.
go there for the first time. Go back again for the first time, if that makes sense.
I
faux
feel you.
show.
Oh, show.
But then they go to Birmingham, Alabama right after those 2 dates, August 25th and the 27th. They start a 2-night run at the Charleston Poorhouse in Charleston, South Carolina. And then August 31st, they hit New York City at the rooftop at Pier 17.
That'll be
And
cool.
that will be a dope show. And then they have Thompson's Point in Portland, Maryland, and then a Fayetteville, West Virginia show September 5th, which they're going to have whitewater rafting options before the show and then camping after. So if you're in the area for that, check those out. Just get on their website and look at that. It's pretty cheap. I think it's under
It's
$100 for the whitewater rafting.
And the tickets for that show are cheap. And I will say the venue is terrific. It's a new venue in West Virginia. They're trying their best to elevate the music scene there. I grew up in West Virginia. I live on the border, and there's not really a whole lot going on there, but they're trying their best, and support that if you can. It'll be a great show, I know.
Yeah, I've actually done whitewater rafting where they are offering that, and it was a fun time, and it's not long, and it's not super dangerous either. So
it is a
good
very,
time.
very great place, and it's very, very friendly to people like us. So,
Oh yeah,
New
it's
River
up in the
Gorge is
mountains.
great.
It's you got them mountain people. But then the next night they head down to Devil's Backbone Base Camp Brew Pub and Meadows in Roseland, Virginia. Devil's Backbone, legendary show. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to that one. But they return there, and then they head the next night at the Fillmore in Charlotte, and then the final dates that they have right now are 2 festivals: the Bender Jamboree in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've been talking about this.
Jake, did I tell you I booked the Bender Jamboree?
Of all the things you booked,
I
Jim,
just booked VIP. All you can drink Bender Jamboree. I was like, yeehaw, let's go, baby. No, I'm just kidding.
did you? Or didn't
No,
you?
no.
Okay.
Oh man.
You go to that one, you better bring like 3 pairs of glasses or something.
I mean, I better just not bring glasses. You know, I figure. Like, what? Can't lose if I don't bring any.
Yeah. And then the last date that they have so far is September 27th at Ocean's Calling. Actually, it's the 29th. I think they're on Sunday in Ocean City, Maryland.
And we're going to get that Boys to Men sit-in we've always wanted that night, I feel.
Motown Phillies.
We're going to do Motown Philly. Just like Motown, like, I feel it. Like, that would just be like the sickest, like, uptown, Motown, downtown Philly. Let's go.
Just even if Jeremy sits in with Boys to Men, let it happen. Make it happen.
Right?
Oh, show. All right. Well, coming up over just up about an hour or so. Wave Man, thank you for hopping on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, this is your official first time on Flockast. I remember during Dome Fest we had that like little round table. I think that you were on.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
We'll call this the first official one.
We're here. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.